Okay, here we go. Here is one of my final research projects. I want to prove that the human race did not come from monkeys, and that we actually came from a futuristic timeline that I have calculated from the premonitions of Comet Ison orbiting our galaxy through the years. Now, the first theory that I came up with, my numbers were a little off. So what I did was I redid some math, and I came up with infinity. Infinity as Jupiter being the sixth planet, being that it also has completed 6 orbits around our new sun. And through me adding this new math with adding infinity to Jupiter and adding infinity to Comet Ison speed, because the function of Comet Ison speed is 3.14, which is pi, right? We know that from the last lecture. So what I did was I recalculated the math here. Okay? Comet Ison is at 1 AU. Neptune and Pluto, the 2 planets that I'm using as examples in my formula, Neptune and Pluto. Well, Neptune and Uranus. Neptune and Uranus, once I included infinity into the equation, their orbits changed also. I came up with 373 total orbits with Neptune orbiting around our sun and the old sun. These is total orbits. And then Uranus is at 23x, can be described at 23x with 297 total orbits around the sun. These, like I said, these planets are ancient. But what they all have in common is there's actually 1 AU. 1 AU is 92 million miles. Basically 92 million miles away from our planet. They're 1 AU away from our planet, so their orbits take 92 million miles. The exact orbit Comet Ison's orbit is. Comet Ison's orbit is at 1 AU. They're 92 million miles. So it takes 92 million miles for these planets to come back around. All these planets in this cluster. When I say the cluster, I did research on the actual cluster of planets, of stars, that the king of Persia saw when Yahshua was born in 356 BCE. Although the North Star was nothing but Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus, and Comet Ison, all in the clusterfuck with Saturn. Where's Saturn? Where's Saturn? Where is Saturn? Well, I didn't include Saturn on here, but you know Saturn is part of the clusterfuck of planets and asteroids that orbit around Comet Ison. So right now we're going to make the correction here. We're just going to make the correction right now. with Neptune, because I did the correction with the math to include the infinity equation. You got to solve all the orbits of all the asteroids and planets around the new sun. So it's infinity, which is greater than or equal to 0. That's basically the primary function of how I calculated all these planets' orbits around the new sun and around the old suns. Because we all know the old sun is Jupiter, and here's the new sun. And the new sun protects the heavens. In Sheol, it protects the heavens from basically the bad guys with Comet Ison and Jupiter. They're floating around Comet Ison and Jupiter. Basically, they want to drain the new sun now of its energy so they can get to the heavens. See, Jupiter's core, atomic core actually, was made from heat and plasma. That's what was drained from Jupiter in the beginning. We did not come from monkeys. I don't want to hear nothing about us coming from monkeys anymore. We did not come from monkeys. We came from a very advanced, technologically advanced society that was destroyed because people were greedy. That's basically what this math is showing you. Now I calculated all the orbits of Comet Ison orbiting around our planet. Comet Ison's first orbit timed at infinity was at 6x times 4x squared, which came out to 12,294 BCE. This is when the Big Bang occurred. I'm close to being exact of when the Big Bang occurred. This is when the Big Bang occurred. This is when Pluto was destroyed. Okay? The Big Bang occurred 12,294 BCE. Then the Comet Ison's next orbit, we had Doomsday event at the year 9,935 BCE. We had another Doomsday event on Comet Ison's third orbit in the year 7,576 BCE. We had a fourth Doomsday event during the year 5,217 BCE. The second, where we had a fifth, let's see, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that right? Right. We had a fifth orbit of Comet Ison during the year 2,858 BCE. The last previous orbit was in between 319 and 320 BCE. And Yahshua's death occurred 327 BCE when the Savior was hung from a tree. They hung the Savior from a tree because they thought by sacrificing the most purest person, the most faithful person that they could find, the most loving, giving, caring person, basically they figured Yahshua's sacrifice was going to stop the damn asteroid from coming in. So that's basically why they killed him. Because they figured he had some power, because they knew he was the son of Yahweh. So they figured he had some type of magical powers or something. Basically, they accused him of of witchcraft, and he was murdered because they were scared because they knew Comet Ison was coming back. They knew Comet Ison was coming back. It was a total eclipse. The day they executed him, it was a total eclipse. Or the day after, it was a total eclipse. And then 7 years later, guess what? In the year 320 BCE, it was a total eclipse. Total solar eclipse. I mean, you go fact check this. You go fact check everything I'm saying right now, but I did the math. I did the research. I was one orbit off from the original calculations with Comet Ison, which I originally timed it at 5x. According to the math, see, this is how you know how many times the planet comes around, right? This is how you do it. You take the present time, which is 2024, you divide it by the object's speed. Comet Ison's total actual speed moving through space is 337.3 kilometers per second. So I divided that, and guess what number I came out with? 6. So that's how I know Comet Ison. That's how I know my math was accurate here at timing Comet Ison at 5x, because it's coming around for a 6 orbit in the year 2024 AD, which is now. Okay, we go back to the timesheet. Remember, the initial blast from when the Big Bang occurred doesn't count as an orbit. This is 0. Okay, you might as well say this is all timed out as 0 once you do the factoring, because we know this is Jupiter at T3, right? We did the math on this before already, and then we know this is Comet Ison at T2, at times 2, right? We did all the math. It all fits. 1 orbit, 2 orbits, 3 orbits, 4 orbits, 5 orbits. This is how you know exactly when the object is getting ready to come in. This is when you know when the Big Bang occurred. This is how you're gonna know. This is my actual proposal to the world, and basically to mathematicians, scientists all over the world. And I know this information is very important to you guys. That's why I'm just giving it to you in the raw. I'm giving you the formulas, the basics, and everything. And then how I came up with this formula, I calculated the astronomical unit of Comet Ison, which everybody knows you're supposed to divide the Earth time over the sun's distance, or the Earth's distance over the sun's distance. That's how I came up 1.0. Now, if you go look up all these planets, times and speeds, you go online, you can look it up. They got synoidic periods, right? I checked that out. All this synoidic periods have a 1.0 frequency. That's what I calculated. They have a 1.0 frequency. So all the planets that float around Comet Ison have this 1.0 frequency. And they also have the matching 1.0 AU, because they're in Comet Ison's orbit. So whenever Comet Ison comes around, like I said, it brings all these other planets with it. With it, it brings Jupiter. It brings Neptune, Uranus, Saturn. Basically, Saturn. You know, Saturn probably be up here somewhere. Saturn and all the rest of the planets and asteroids. You could do the same. You could apply the same math to the white planets. You know, the white planets are Earth, Moon, you know, Mars, you know, the planets that's in our hemisphere, the planets that's around us. Mercury, here go Earth. I ain't put Mercury and everything on here because I was doing some different calculations. But the only way I came up with this is that I figured out that pi is the function of Comet Ison squared infinity, because Comet Ison is here forever, just like Jupiter is here forever. It's infinity. We might as well calculate the new sun. The new sun. See, the problem is with the new sun, it's stationary. So if it's a stationary object in the middle of our galaxy, we could say that the sun is infinity also. So we're gonna do that too right now. We might as well, yeah, make the sun infinity. The sun is infinity. Comet Ison is infinity. Jupiter is infinity. All the rest of the planets have times and can be moved into different orbits of time and space. And right now, Comet Ison has us on a reverse orbit. Has all the planets on the reverse orbit. Well, like I said, we're moving clockwise, but all the planets that's around Comet Ison, they move counterclockwise. See? All the math fits. This was scaring me the most. And I came up with this number 6. I said this damn thing is about to do its 6th orbit, exactly its 6th orbit around. So that's why the formula fits that it's 6x times 4x squared infinity. The formula fits the equation and the time. We're in the present time of 2024 AD. Everything fits. If you put these calculations into a calculator, you're going to come up with 6. That means it has to come around this year or no later than 2025. Like I've previously calculated in my other lectures. See? If I want, I can explain this other timeline to you guys real quick. This one I'm about to do, right? Explain this other timeline, okay? Now, when Jupiter, I'll move the camera a little bit, I ain't trying to do that. When Jupiter was our sun, right? Remember I told y'all that Jupiter could have orbited through the galaxy maybe 100,000 times through history? Well, that's actually possible, because it was our old sun on the futuristic timeline. In the futuristic timeline, everything went all the way up to the year 2100 AD on the other timeline. See? We futuristic time, we was in the future. We was always futuristic. We was always futuristic culture. That's why we, in the Black Panther movie, you know, they showed you all the technology in the Black Panther movie, because we were actually all superheroes and stuff, and we all controlled our own atmospheres and planets and everything, which is a whole nother story. But I'm gonna get to that in the future, right? I'm gonna get to that in the future. I'm trying to stay with the focus of what I'm talking about now. Boom, we had Pluto's destruction, right? This on the first timeline though, on the beginning timeline, where we all come from. Now we got this second timeline.
Quality teaching degree online. Everyone except WGU.
Boom.
Their respected school of education offers over 30
Time goes into reverse.
degree programs and has CAEP and AAQEP.
We start off
the same accreditations
at
as
320
much more.
BCE.
Lets me use what I know to graduate faster. They also provide a path for teaching.
We start off at 320 BCE, right? BC, before the Common Era. That's basically when Pluto's destruction occurred. And then we just reverse time. We're at the year 2024 AD. And with this object, these times are close to accurate as I possibly could get. This object orbiting around us every doggone time it comes. But see, off this new timeline, it's sped up, it's moving faster. See? Because if we had our last EL extinction level event in 320 BCE, we had our last extinction level event in 320 BCE, then this object has sped up. We can do some calculations real quick. We might as well do some calculations. Like we back in school doing this work, right? 2024. We're just estimating the year 320 BCE. So now this thing picked up speed. This orbit is changed. It's moving faster. The orbit, I've calculated the orbit at almost estimated at 2,500 years. That's what I calculated the orbit at, but because of the last extinction level event, it's moving faster. We only had 1,700 years to prepare for it this time around. Maybe the last time we had 2,500 years to prepare for it, 24 or 2,300 years to prepare for it. This time we only had 1,700 years to prepare, which is not that much time. What it does, it gets faster and faster every time it comes back around. It gets faster and faster. There's a future where they say the human race doesn't exist, where we get wiped out by the asteroid. I think I've said this before. The year 3890 AD is when Comet Ison's next final approach. After this one, we have to have the 2024 approach because the math matches. It's just time for us to prepare, man. We had our fun. The way these numbers look, we running out of time. If I can accurately calculate this object, I hate to say it, sports fans, but we probably got about 6 to 9 months left because we're at the 6th orbit. The 2024 calculates into the 6th orbit. We need a real climate change plan. Somebody needs to come up with one real soon. I mean, honestly, no matter who the president is. Oh, check this out. Y'all always wondered about the dark twin. The name of the dark twin is called Sedna. I found the planet on my advanced space chart where I be tracking all the asteroids and planets deep off in space, and it has an orbit of exactly 12,579 years, and that's close to when the first extinction level event occurred, 12,294 years. So that's why it's called the dark twin. The explosion from the Big Bang destroyed this planet. It used to be a planet, and it's blown it off its orbit. So it takes 12,000 years for this planet to come back around. So whenever you see this planet come back around, you know that you know that the object is coming back around too. I mean, you got Hellbop warning you that it's coming in between here with these other calculations. The Hellbop always come first. The Hellbop's last orbit was 1996. Yup. So 1996 was the year we supposed to have got the warning that this thing was coming in, because they seen Hellbop on the space chart, and Hellbop is big, about the same size as this damn thing, and it was close to us, and we could have pole shift in 1996, but we didn't for some odd reason. But this is a very important year, 1996. What was y'all doing in 1996? Well, we didn't see this big ass planet floating over our heads. You know, we gotta pay attention to the numbers. I just seen something else. This is correct. If it's 1700-year orbit, we could calculate if this 3890 AD orbit is close to it. It's close to it. I'm gonna try to calculate it right now. 3890 AD minus 2024 AD. That's us right now, right? 6. Then 8 and 2 is 6. Right? We drop the 8.
Picture Haley said of the twins, it's so precious.
We got a difference of what? See, it's a difference of 866 years.
You started a family chat without
No,
me.
1,000.
Look, it's not you. It's just it's your new phone.
Blurry photos, weird likes.
You know, if your group has different phones,
866 years.
It's seamless
Okay.
and private.
1866.
I still can't believe
That's still close to
From
1700.
here, never from here.
Wait a minute, 9 and 2 is 7. Let me make my corrections real quick. 9 and 2 is 7. 76. 1,876 years from the date that I was given that humanity gets wiped out. But we all know, even in the year 3890 AD, the humans had an escape plan to go back to Mars. They escaped back to Mars. Right, I've already explained this to you people, that once they have the fallout and everything, they always use Mars as a recuperation planet. So the human race never stops. The human race, the animals, the dinosaurs, only way that the dinosaurs can be explained, the dinosaurs were here in the beginning, right? They was here in the beginning. But Comet Ison, the Big Bang wiped them out. The dinosaurs used to be our pets because we had superhero strength. and superhero speed. And we had, you know, super hearing and telepathy and all that other stuff. So the dinosaurs were our pets. We had dinosaurs on every planet.
Are you just gonna stare vacantly at her and not say,
I find your slack-jawed stare very attractive.
So when dinosaurs were wiped out,
perhaps the only good actor
Jupiter
for a century?
exploded. We lost our sun.
Would you like to take a moment?
This really their new sun,
Not right now.
Comet Ison.
So, what do you feel like doing?
Would you like to take a moment to
It destroys planets. It sucks energy. That's what it does, man.
Then when I feel so stuffed I can't eat anymore, I just use the restroom. And then I
Hope you people really pay attention to this.
book fry? Know about the cat more? Oh,
Don't never let nobody tell you come from a monkey. You do not come from no monkey. You come from a very, very highly advanced technological civilization of humanoid species. That's where we come from. Derived from no monkeys. The fish, all the animals and stuff been here since the beginning of time. The dinosaurs used to feed off the other animals. And the plant life here and on Mars. We got a futuristic war on Mars. That's why Mars is deserted. Supposed to be deserted. But like I said, I want to get into that, but that's not the basis of what this video is about. This video is basically me presenting the real creation theory of where humans actually come from, where we really come from, where's our home base. And we know our home planet is Pluto. We had our own planet, and all the other species that you see here on this planet with all the different skin pigmentations, they all come from other planets too. Through the galaxy. There's only one universe, and Yahweh is the power, is the only power in the universe. Yahweh controls even all these objects.
no thanks, Dad. I'd rather make out with my robot.
Yahweh controls everything.
Billy, do you want to come over tonight? We can make out.
He's the only source of power in the universe.
Long way to go for making out.
That's why I marked the new sun as the 7. And then I got the Jupiter marked as the 6. Yeah, this is my Big Bang Theory. This is my Big Bang Theory.
Why should anyone bother? Let's take a look at Billy's planet a year later. The football
I don't know what they be teaching in school, but first of all, the primary function of pi needs to be understood, that you can use pi into all different numbers and to figure out the orbits of these planets, you need the function of pi. I wanted to share this with you guys because I feel like we're running out of time. The numbers are showing that we're running out of time. These numbers are way more accurate than the last theory I came up with. It was some mistakes. I went back in the video and seen the mistakes myself, but I've corrected all the mistakes, and I got all the formulas on here for you guys. So stay tuned.